If you're a doctor, lawyer, business owner, or high-earning professional making $300,000 or more, you're probably paying a lot in taxes. Did you know that that's a major reason that millionaires don't just invest in stocks and bonds, but in other alternative investments like real estate, oil and gas, crypto, and precious metals? In fact, the ultra-rich only invest about 30% of their wealth in stocks and bonds. And what about the other 70%? What are they investing their wealth in? And that's what I'm going to cover in the next few minutes. And part of that wealth is in real estate. But how do they invest in real estate? Do they own a bunch of rentals or Airbnbs? The answer is probably not. But I'll share with you how they do it without being a landlord and managing tenants. So let's do this. So in early 2000, I was with a software company called Web Methods, and it went public in March of 2000, and it was amazing. It was one of the best software IPOs ever, and we're all gazillionaires on paper. Now, we were all locked up for six months, couldn't sell anything, but when I could start selling, that IPO put a bunch of money in my pocket, and I duly gave it to my advisor with Morgan Stanley, and they had created an investment portfolio, and everything was cool, until I realized that they were getting paid their management fee, regardless of whether the market was going up or down. And I was paying a lot of capital gains on that. And it wasn't producing really any kind of cash flow. And I was like, daggone it, how do I fix that? And so a lot of people do the same thing. They put everything in stocks and bonds, think it's diversified. They buy ETFs because it's easy. And there's a place for that, but it doesn't actually, it's not really what the millionaires do, right? What the millionaires do is they actually, they allocate their portfolio. And what they do is they have about 30% in stocks, 15 to 25 in real estate, 15 to 25 in private equity, 10 to 20 in bonds, 5 to 10 in cash, and then 5 to 15 in other alternatives like precious metals, crypto, oil, and gas. So real estate is a pretty big piece, a quarter of the entire portfolio. And why is that, right? Because it provides things that the stock market can't provide. It provides passive income, cash flow, obviously appreciation, above average appreciation, and then extraordinary tax benefits. That's really the reason that people invest in real estate. But the wealthy aren't buying a bunch of single rentals, and they're not dealing with tenants, right? What do they do? What do they do really? And so what they typically end up doing is they're not investing in REITs, because REITs, even though they're real estate behind the scenes, they really behave more like a stock. What they're doing is they're investing passively in multifamily syndications. These are large commercial real estate projects like multifamily or mobile home parks, light industrial, whatever the case may be. And now for their investment, they are now a limited partner, and they get cash flow, and they get appreciation, and they get tax benefits from doing that. And that's really how they do it. And I didn't figure that out until much later, because I too got a rental property, and it makes like $200 a month. And now you got to deal with a tenant calling you at night. And that didn't appeal to me. I did like the tax write-offs, but I didn't like the low income it created and the headaches, right? So learn more about investing passively in real estate syndications. If you go to nighthawkequity.com and you scroll down a little bit, there is a course. It basically provides an introduction to real estate syndication. So if you're new to that, then check that out. It'll really educate yourself about how you can invest passively in real estate without having to do all the work. You get all the same benefits, but someone else is doing the work, and that's us as well. So check that out. It's on nighthawkequity.com. So make sure that when you look at your portfolio, and you can use chat for this, is what should my allocation be? How do millionaires allocate their portfolio? And then over the years, start making some moves to make that portfolio kind of mirror what millionaires do as well. All right, catch you next time.